5 real documented possession cases. Invisible creatures biting a teenager in a jail cell. A woman possessed by Hitler on cassette tape. A girl who made a pact with Satan on purpose. All witnessed, all unexplained. Things are about to get considerably worse. Real demonic possessions. Manila, May 9th, 1953. Belated prison. A 300-year-old jail that already felt cursed before any of this started. Clarita Villanueva is trying to sleep. 17 years old. Orphan from Bacolod. Arrested for the crime of being broke and outside. Then something just lands on the beam above her and jumps down. She screams so loud the entire prison wakes up. Something invisible is sinking its fangs into her flesh, and the wounds it leaves, still wet with saliva. From nothing, bite marks appearing in real time. Arms, neck, shoulders, legs. And then she starts laughing, because whatever is biting her is tickling her at the same time, screaming and laughing, while bite marks appear all over her body. They call a doctor, then another. Then the actual mayor of Manila shows up at a jail cell in person, because his Tuesday got absolutely hijacked. The mayor takes Clarita's hand, watches a fresh bite mark appear on her finger, while he is holding it, from nothing. He called the archbishop immediately after. File a report? Cause of injury, unknown entity. Recommended action, pray. Clarita described 2 creatures. First, 10 feet tall, covered in hair, long fangs with buck teeth jutting out. And somehow, an angelic face. On a 10-foot-tall hairy demon with fangs. Make it make sense. Second, smaller, dark, hairy, ugly, with its own set of fangs. And they had followers. An entire crew taking turns on a 17-year-old girl in a jail cell. Pastor Lester Sumrall heard about Clarita on the radio. Couldn't sleep for 3 days. Showed up at the jail. And Clarita, a girl who had never spoken English in her life, looked directly at him and screamed, "I hate you," in English, in a deep male voice. 20 years before Linda Blair made that voice famous in The Exorcist, Clarita was already doing it, for free. Sumrall prayed. Clarita convulsed, screamed, fought back. Reporters counted 15 demons leaving her body. 15. The medical reports still exist. The saliva on the wounds, unexplained. Not in 70 years. That is Clarita's Tuesday. The next case had 67 exorcisms, over 10 months, and it still didn't save her. Bavaria, Germany, 1975. Anneliese Michel is 21 years old, devout Catholic, good student, normal life, until it isn't. It starts with voices, whispers while she prays, telling her she's damned, that she'll rot in hell. Every single time she tries to pray, then the behavior starts. She tears her clothes off, crawls under tables, barks like a dog, for 2 days straight, just barking, on all fours, in her family homes. Then she starts eating spiders, and coal, and bites the head off a dead bird, and drinks her own urine, and does 400 squats, every single day, compulsively. Whatever was inside her was really committed to her fitness routine. 2 priests show up, Father Renz and Father Alt. They're convinced she's possessed, not by 1 demon, by 6. Lucifer, Cain, Judas Iscariot, Nero, a fallen priest named Fleischmann, and Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler is possessing a 21-year-old German Catholic woman in Bavaria in 1975. And on the recordings, he argues in Bavarian dialect, because of course he does. Even as a demon, he couldn't leave Germany. The priests record everything. 67 exorcism sessions, over 10 months, 4 hours each, 43 cassette tapes of Anneliese screaming, growling, and speaking in voices that are not hers. Those tapes still exist. You can listen to them right now. Most people who do wish they'd left the tape in the box. Her knees break from kneeling during sessions. She stops eating. The priests let her, believing fasting will drive the demons out. On July 1st, 1976, Anneliese Michel dies in her sleep. She weighs 68 pounds. Her lips are split from dehydration. Her knees shattered. Official cause of death, malnutrition and dehydration. The priests are arrested, charged with negligent homicide, sentenced to 6 months. 6 months for 10 months of 4-hour exorcism sessions on a starving woman whose knees literally shattered. The judge went home that night and slept fine, apparently. The Catholic Church now distances itself from what happened. The tapes remain. You can hear Hitler's voice, coming out of a 21-year-old German woman, on a cassette tape from 1975. If you want to sleep tonight, don't look them up. The next case has a Columbia University psychiatrist who went in as a skeptic, came out a believer, and published it in a medical journal, because apparently that's just where we are now. New York, 2008. Dr. Richard Gallagher, Princeton, Yale, Columbia. The kind of doctor who has dedicated his entire life to explaining the human mind through science. The night before their first meeting, his cats lose their minds at 3 a.m., howling, scratching, absolute chaos, for no reason. Next morning, a woman walks into his office. Her real name? Never revealed. Not even in the published medical journal. We only know her as Julia. He was not prepared for this. 39 years old, dark flowing robes, black eyeshadow painted back to her temples, self-described high priestess of a satanic cult. Just a normal Tuesday for a Columbia psychiatrist, apparently. She sits down, looks him dead in the eyes, and says, "Dr. Gallagher, how did you like those cats last night?" She had never been to his house, never met him, had no idea his cats even existed. His cats figured it out before he did. During sessions, Julia goes into trances. Something else speaks through her. In Latin, in Spanish, languages she's never learned, insulting everyone in the room. "Leave, you imbecile priest. She's ours. You'll be sorry." A demon. Calling a room full of priests, nuns, and one very confused psychiatrist imbeciles. In Latin. During a therapy session in Westchester County. And Dr. Gallagher was scared as hell. Then she levitates 6 inches off the ground for 30 minutes, while a team of priests, nuns, and psychiatrists try to hold her down with everything they have. They cannot. 8 exorcisms, objects flying across rooms, temperature drops, impossible knowledge of everyone's deepest secrets. Every single session. But Julia never gets free. She wants the possession gone, but refuses to leave the satanic cult that opened the door. You can't negotiate a partial exit with a demon. Shockingly, they don't offer that package. She died of cancer, still possessed, still in the cult, still refusing to choose. And Dr. Gallagher, Princeton, Yale, Columbia, published everything in a peer-reviewed medical journal. Conclusion: genuinely possessed. No other explanation. Her real name still unknown. Her story documented forever. His cats knew first. Just saying. If a demon calling priests, nuns, and an Ivy League psychiatrist imbeciles in Latin during a therapy session sounds disturbing, the next girl did. She went looking for it and found exactly what she asked for. Natal, South Africa, 1906. St. Michael's Mission School. A 16-year-old orphan named Clara Germana Cele walks into confession and drops the most unhinged thing her priest has ever heard. She made a pact with Satan, on purpose. She literally asked for it. Days later, the bill comes due. She starts speaking Polish, then German, then French, then Norwegian, fluently. This girl has never left South Africa, never taken a class. Nobody asked how. Nobody wanted to know. Then the mind reading kicks in. People she has never met in her life. She reveals their most intimate secrets, out loud, in front of everyone. Things they've never told a single soul. The silence in that room must have been absolutely unreal. Then she bites a nun, leaves teeth marks that look like snake fangs. Not human teeth, snake fangs. On a teenager, in a Catholic school. Then she starts floating, 5 feet off the ground, sometimes vertical, sometimes horizontal. Multiple people dragging her back down, every time. Holy water burns her skin on contact. She can sense hidden crosses and Bibles through walls before they enter the room. Every single time. A nun wrote this down. Her screams sounded like a veritable herd of wild beasts orchestrated by Satan forming a hellish choir. Not lions, not bulls. A 16-year-old girl, in a school. 2 priests show up for the exorcism. Clara Germana Cele immediately grabs one by the throat, with his own stole, mid-prayer, with grip strength that is definitely not human. 170 witnesses watch the final levitation. She rises 5 feet into the air. A smell hits the room. Think the back of a New York City garbage truck, on the hottest day of August, after a long route. Gone. And so is whatever was inside her, except it comes back a year later. Second exorcism, 10 days, same ending, same smell, 170 witness accounts, still unexplained. If Satan personally possessing a teenage girl in South Africa sounds disturbing, The last case on this list happened in Iowa in 1928, and it directly inspired the most famous horror movie ever made. Erling, Iowa, 1928. Emma Schmidt is 46 years old, and she has been suffering since she was 14. 32 years of possession. Because whatever got inside her was in absolutely no hurry to leave. Father Theophilus Reisinger shows up to perform the exorcism. His car refuses to accelerate the entire way there. Even the vehicle knew what it was driving toward. Emma is brought to a Franciscan convent, strapped to an iron bed, arms bound. Strongest nuns in the building assigned to hold her down. The moment she arrives, she can smell the blessed food before it enters the room. Refuses to eat anything. For 23 days. The exorcism begins. Emma's body lifts off the bed, floats to the ceiling, then sticks to the wall like a spider. A 46-year-old woman plastered to the wall of a convent in Iowa in 1928. She makes sounds witnesses describe as a horde of lions and hyenas. Not one lion, a horde, in a convent in Iowa on a Tuesday. Father Reisinger determines she's possessed by 4 entities: Beelzebub, Judas Iscariot, her Aunt Mina, and her late father Jacob, her own father, who abused her in life, came back after death, and kept going. That detail alone should break something inside you. The exorcism lasts 23 days, spread over 4 months, projectile vomiting throughout, superhuman strength, animal sounds, speaking languages she never learned, wall crawling. Several nuns asked to be transferred to a different convent. Can't say I blame them. On December 23rd, 1928, Emma leaps off the bed, screams the names of every demon inside her. Beelzebub, Judas, Jacob, Mina. Then, hell, hell, hell. Collapses, wakes up serene, whispers, "Praise be Jesus Christ." And for the first time in 32 years, it's quiet. Emma remained under church care for the rest of her life, died peacefully in the 1940s. The case was profiled in Time magazine in 1936. The levitation, projectile vomiting, and bed restraint directly inspired The Exorcist. Everything you thought was Hollywood fiction happened first in a convent in Iowa, to a woman who had been waiting 32 years for someone to help her. 5 women, 5 countries, 5 centuries. Invisible creatures biting a teenager in Manila. A German woman dying at 68 pounds with Hitler's voice on tape. A South African girl levitating 5 feet off the ground in front of 170 witnesses. A satanic high priestess outsmarting an Ivy League psychiatrist's cats. And a woman plastered to a convent wall in Iowa for 32 years. Which case disturbed you the most? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, whatever was in that Manila jail cell in 1953 still hasn't been fully explained. Just something to think about. At 3 a.m., when the cats start acting weird. I'll see you in the next one.